showing out, making moves, no doubt. FFA pride, it's what we're all about. From classroom dreams to real world flair, we got the stories you won't find anywhere. Beyond the jacket where the stories unfold, voices of the future, fearless and bold. Tune in now, let the passion ignite. It's more than a jacket, it's a way of life. Beyond the jacket where passion meets purpose.
Welcome back to Beyond the Jacket. My name is Rachel, and I'm super excited to be here today with both Paige and an FFA student named Abby, who's going to share with us a little bit about how she's gone beyond the jacket in lamb showing through her SAE. So welcome, Abby, to the podcast. We're super excited to have you here. We'd love to hear a little bit about your background, where you're from, and how you got involved in FFA.
My name is Abby Walters. I'm from Martinsville, Indiana. I'm 17 years old. I'm currently a senior at Franklin Community High School. I have been a part of Franklin Community FFA for 5 years now. I started in 8th grade. And yeah, I've been an active member all 5 years, and I'm currently in my 3rd year as an officer. I was Sentinel, and then for the past 2 years, I've been president of the chapter.
That's amazing. It's so exciting having FFA members come on that have been involved for multiple years. We've had a range of students, some that are maybe in their 2nd or 3rd year, and then some like you, Abby, that are seasoned veterans to the program and organization and know what's going on. When you were in 8th grade, what kind of enticed you to be like, I want to be a member of FFA?
So one of my 2 ag teachers, Dan Bada, he used to stand outside of the bus doors of our middle school every single day and give fist bumps to every single student that walked in. And I was in his class and I didn't even realize it on the first day when he gave me a fist bump and asked me what my name was. Then I went through the day and I eventually found out I was in his class, and I was like, this guy's pretty cool. I better see what he's got to say. So then I ended up going to a meeting, and then I fell in love with it immediately.
FFA advisors kind of serve as like an additional mom, or like I always said that like my FFA advisor, like if I got my heart broke and I didn't want to tell my mom about it, I was gonna call Miss Blakenbaker and tell her about it. And they make you feel seen and heard, and like you have another confidant. They're not just a teacher, they're a friend too. And I love to hear how that transfers from state to state. So you talked about being in middle school in ag. I was too. I'm one of those seasoned veterans, as Rachel called us. Did you run for office originally because you felt so empowered, or were you a member first? How'd that work?
So in my chapter, you have to be a member before you can start running for offices. And we don't have a middle school officer team. I know a lot of schools in Indiana do though. So I ended up being a member for 2 years before I decided to run for an office the first time, which was at the end of my freshman year.
It's exciting. I remember running for office the first time. I was so nervous,
Yes.
but I was really happy I did. Provided me with a bunch of different skills that set me to where I could be today. I'm sure, hopefully, you feel the same way about your blue jacket and all the skills you've gained.
Yes.
So you started an FFA as a member, then went into being an officer. How did you start your SAE? How did that come about? What was the inspiration?
I have actually had a lot of different SAEs throughout the years. I filtered through, I did ag ed for a little while, I did baking for a little while, I did aquaponics for a while. I just did a lot of little things for little bits of time. And then this past year, my ag teacher has a show team, and it is primarily show dairy steers. And she's done it since 2018, I believe. And she has had lots of success, but with the price of dairy steers having gone up, she decided that it was a good time to try something new, and she decided to get Hampshire lambs. And I was like, okay, well, I'm not super crazy about doing cows, but let's see how sheep goes. And then obviously I ended up loving it and continuing it.
That's so exciting. I feel like a lot of people, you're just talking about having so many different SAEs. And I think a lot of people, when they join FFA, they're instructed that, they got to pick this project and they got to stick with it for years to come. And that's really not the reality that we live in. You have the option to change and choose as you so please. And so it's exciting that you've dove into so many different things and something new this year. I remember in college, I went to Iowa State University, and they have a little show. I think it's called the Little North American, if I remember correctly. It might be something different, but and they
International, maybe.
no, it was a show for FFA, or for college students who maybe were interested in learning how to show different livestock species, or maybe didn't grow up with an animal and they were friends with somebody in the College of Ag, and so they would encourage like their friends to come and learn how to show an animal. So it's cool that your teacher is also, maybe not so informed on how to show a sheep, but trying something new and allowing you guys to learn as well. Have you been enjoying it so far?
Yes, it has been a massive learning curve. My family are swine production, not really as much into showing, so getting to kind of introduce my dad to the world of showing has been really interesting because he much more sees the production side of it. So it's been a big learning curve for both of us, but we've both learned a lot and we've bonded over it.
My
There you
mom
go.
went the same way, Abby. My family raises commercial cattle. And we send them to feedlots to be fed out for beef. And I showed cattle kind of similar to like how you should lambs, but integrating my mom into the show world and teaching her that commercial cattle and show ring cattle are two different things.
Yes.
One is very pretty and can be gorgeous on the halter in the ring, and the next is the brood cow in the pasture that works day in and day out through all the elements. And I think there's a lot of difference in those worlds. What is one of the biggest differences you see between production ag and show ring ag, if you will?
Um, I feel like the treatment of the animals is definitely seen as a lot different because our show animals are some are kept in coolers, some have very strict feed regimens, some have very strict walking regiments, and I know definitely for lambs, show ring lambs are a lot more expensive than every other type of lamb out there.
I can understand that. I think that's kind of the gist with all show ring animals. Back to kind of the beginning, the roots of your SAE, because of course we kind of like to go through all of your parts and show everybody, all of our listeners, how much all of our members have grown through their projects. Do you remember your very first show animal, and what was it like walking into the ring for the first time?
So, my first show was a open show with two of my really close friends, and it was all three of our first shows. So, we were all equally super nervous. And we were all just kind of making each other more nervous. The energy was just flowing around, and but we all kind of we were about to walk into the ring because we were all in the same class too, because we had the same breed and weight of lambs. And we all just walked in, and for some reason it just clicked with me and my lamb. It's like we both knew what we needed to do once we got in there, and it was really like magic, honestly, because right when we hit the shavings, it just everything clicked into place and we braced and it was perfect.
There you go. I always find it interesting when people are showing sheep because it's like you're pushing them back on them a little bit and getting them all set up. And I always think it's kind of fun to watch because when you go to the fair, I feel like every species is shown so differently,
Yes.
which makes it super fun. Have you shown anything else besides sheep?
I have not. I have only shown sheep, so I have not had any other experiences with other animals, although I'm open to just about anything.
Besides the dairy cows.
Unfortunately, they're just a little too big. I
There you
I
go.
can
That's
understand
okay.
that. I could see that being an issue. I always wanted to show a sheep. That was something in high school, like I wish I would have done. But the only way we could have shown sheep was at our state fair, I believe.
Oh.
And my parents were like, that's too close to our county fair. We don't have time to do that. So I never got to show sheep. But maybe one day, in college, there's some clubs up here that you can show, like on the college show team or different things. So maybe I'll
Yes.
dabble into that one day. But what has been something challenging about your SAE that you think has made you grow, in a sense?
So I know, especially for lambs, you have to stay very calm. If you are nervous or if you are anxious or upset, they know and they replicate that emotion perfectly. So if I'm upset with my lamb, he's gonna be mad at me and it's gonna be a million times harder to catch him. So I've had to learn to just calm down and be very even keeled, especially when I'm around my animal, just because I'm a very anxious person. So once I get there, I'm kind of there. So I've had to learn to be able to just like calm down and recenter myself to then do what I need to do.
I think that's fair. I think animals take on a lot of like whoever's caring for them, their mentality. Um, yeah, I shouldn't say that though because we have a cow calf herd and all the mamas hate me.
Oh no, Rachel.
Maybe I'm giving off hate to them. I should take my own advice. I should be kinder to them. I do. I just want to pet them all the time, and they don't love that. They want to be left alone. I think. But I was just telling Matt the ones that haven't calved yet always let me go up to them. They're totally fine, and as soon as they have their calf, they want nothing to do with me, and they don't want to be near me. But they definitely most animals I feel like take on the mentality of their owner or who's ever caring for them. If you think of a dog, and so that's probably why you're seeing that. I feel like. But
Hmm.
that's super cool that you can, bond with your animal in that way, especially in the show ring. It makes it even sweeter when you win, then, right?
Hmm. Yeah, definitely.
There you
Abby,
go.
I've got to know. So, when you filled out your guest form to come on and chat with us, I was so excited because you specifically mentioned that you wanted to incorporate a new breed of sheep into your SAE. And because Rachel and I don't have a lot of experience with that, why don't you tell us how that's working? What specific type of breed? What inspired you to take that risk?
Yes, so this is actually a really funny story. So the new breed that I've decided to incorporate this year are Shetlands. They are a breed of hair sheep. They are very fun looking. They have really skinny little legs and it looks like if you asked a kindergartner to draw a sheep, that's what they look like in real life. And I was at County Fair, and the Hamp shows had just finished, and I saw these little fluff balls walking into the show arena, and I immediately like turned to my mom and I was like, "You need to figure out what breed of sheep those are." And we figured out that they were Shetlands, and I was like, "I need one." I just knew from the moment I saw them, I was like, that is going to be my next breed of sheep. And so I talked to my advisor, and she loves novelty breeds like that. Like she has Katahdins, and she has South Downs. She has just about every breed of just like that novelty kind of oddball breed. So when I brought it up to her, she was just like, definitely. So she found two ewes. I don't know where she found them, but she bought them and they're now at her farm. And we have plans to AI them and show the lambs this summer. So I'm very excited, but I knew when I saw them. There's one family in Johnson County that shows all the Shetlands, and there's four kids, and I am just so excited because I can just picture myself with these four, they're younger kids, showing these Shetlands this summer, and I'm just really excited about it.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and share my screen. I looked up what one of them looked like. I wonder if I can do this. Is this what they are? Is this what they
Yep,
look like?
yep.
Okay. I thought this for sure was one right here on top of on top of the watering tank
They
there.
have
Very
so much
fluffy.
hair.
Yes, they are, and the ewes that we have are so, so sweet. I was out there yesterday and they both just came running at me, and I was just like, oh, because
Oh my gosh, look at them. They do have tiny little legs.
yes.
I've never most of the time I feel like when you go to a sheep show, they're like trying to fluff up the legs and they're brushing the hair up and trying to make it look more full. So it's
Yes.
interesting that these ones, you're kind of doing the opposite. You want them to look smaller. Is that correct?
Um, well, you don't necessarily want them to look smaller. I mean, their legs, so with regular sheeps, like the hamps that I have, you
Yep.
shear them, but then you keep the leg wool, and then you want that to be bigger. But with the Shetlands, I haven't quite learned the entire process yet, since I haven't shown them yet, but I think you want them to look more circular than shaved clean. Since
Okay.
they're hair sheep and the hamps are more of a meat sheep.
Interesting. See, I'm learning so much about sheep. My sister used to grow sheep in high school and in middle school and really enjoyed it, but we were a family that didn't have sheep growing up. And so she had learned from other families in our 4 H club and things like that, which was always super exciting. But, and the sheep committee at our county fair that I grew up in was really remarkable in making sure that kids got involved if they didn't own a sheep already, that they had the opportunity to. So, they taught her how to fit everything, but yeah, it was different than this type of sheep. I don't know what kind she had. I'm gonna have to go home and ask her for sure. But she'll be like, "Why are you asking me about sheep all of a sudden?" Which will be a fun conversation. We'll tell her about this.
With adding the new breed of sheeps, Abby, sheep, singular.
Sheep.
Sorry about
It
that.
is hard to remember if it's sheep or sheeps.
Mhm.
Like we sound like we don't have degrees in communication, but that is what I experience.
Oh my goodness. Well, you said you showed Hampshire. I think
Yes.
was what you. So that's 2. Is there any? How many do you show, Abby?
So I had one this past year. His name was Dallas, and then I have plans to get another one this year, from a new breeder that I've been looking at. And then I will have the Shetland lamb.
Mhm.
Sounds like you're
There
gonna
you
have
go.
hands full.
Yes.
And then you mentioned AI. So are you having the opportunity to AI those sheep yourself, or is that something that your teacher's doing and kind of cluing you in on what's going on?
Yes, she has found a facility in northern Indiana, for her to take the Shetlands, and she has a baby doll Southdown to AI all three of them.
I'm gonna have to look up a baby
Exciting.
doll south. I need to know what it looks like.
This is exciting. We AI'd cattle. I can't speak today. I apologize.
No, you're good.
Oh,
my
Rachel.
gosh, so cute. My husband's gonna be like, "Why do you want a sheep now?" And I'm gonna be like, "I don't just want a sheep. I want a baby doll Southdown."
Yes.
They're
And
so
she
fluffy.
just got a baby doll Southdown ram lamb, and his name is King Louie. And I did my
Aw.
senior pictures with him, and he's just about that big, and you can just pick him up and hold him.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I have to show you these two. Share screen. Oh my gosh,
Oh
look
my
at
goodness.
him. They even put little antlers on him for Christmas, I think. Oh my
That is
gosh.
so cute.
I think I need one.
Is it gonna live
What okay,
inside
so
with Ivy?
I think Ivy would get along with the sheep in the house, right? Ivy's my dog, but yeah, they're so cute. Oh my goodness. Okay, so in Iowa we don't farm sheep. Like there might be a few farms here and there, but we mostly farm like corn, soybeans, pork, eggs. We're number one egg production. But what do you use like a baby doll Southdown sheep for? Is it kind of like a Highland where it's just a cutie thing that you have on your farm and people come to pet it?
So, baby dolls are kind of one of those where it's just like it's kind of a pet version of like the Southdown.
Okay.
Um, but then Southdowns, I believe are hair sheep. Don't quote me on that though. But then Shetlands are hair sheep, and then Hamps are meat sheep. So their wool is not a very high quality, so it is primarily they are just used for meat.
Interesting.
I'm
So the
learning so
baby
much.
doll. Oh, what page? What were you
I
gonna
said
say?
I'm learning so much.
I am too. Is the baby doll like a mini version of a baby doll South or of
Yes.
a Southdown? Okay. Amazing. Oh, I found the American Southdown Breeders Association online.
Oh
Let's
goodness.
see.
Rachel's gonna have a sheep next week. We'll make
Yeah.
sure to.
I went down this is a funny thing. I went down like a dairy goat fascination. Probably 2 years ago. I had to go judge a FFA contest, and it was public speaking or something. And the girl gave a remarkable presentation on her dairy goat soap company that she had created for her SAE. and she was talking about the benefits of dairy goat milk and all of this stuff. And I went home and I told Matt, I said, we're getting a dairy goat. That dream quickly ended when he told me that he would never milk the dairy goat, that I had to do that
Ooh.
every day. And I didn't think that I could be accountable for doing that every day. So did not get the dairy goat, but I do support that girl's dairy goat soap company. I think it's crazy. I'll put in the notes what it is, but she makes some really good stuff. So
Yeah, I might have to talk about sheep for my next prepared public speaking
there you
speech.
go. There you go. You can talk about your SAE. Honestly, I learned a ton during. I think all of
Yeah,
us
I
as
bet.
judges were like, I didn't even know you can make that many products out of dairy goat milk. But she made soaps and lotions and all kinds of things. But it was very informative and I really appreciate it. But she did a good job. So shout out to her. Forgot her name, but I'll figure it out. But
Abby,
yes, you'll have to give a presentation on sheep and all the things that, because it's interesting to hear the hair versus like if it's a sold for meat production.
absolutely. Abby, before we round out your episode, you just said that you did prepared public speaking. What other like CDEs did you do besides your SAE with your lambs?
So I have done wildlife, floriculture, vet science, prepared public speaking. But those are my three main CDEs that I've done for multiple years.
That's exciting. You have your hands full. I loved my speaking contest. That was kind of my bread and butter of the FFA. I loved doing those kind of things. Do you have a favorite CDE that you participate in?
Yeah, prepared public is definitely my favorite. This will be my fourth year doing it. Um, yeah, it's definitely it's my baby of all my CDs and LDs.
There you go. And the topic this year is sheep.
We'll see.
There you go. There you go. That's
talk
exciting.
About podcast episode in your sheep. In your speech.
In your
I could. That would definitely give me an edge.
I would. I mean, it's kind of public speaking in a way. You're speaking to the
Yeah.
public, just not at the same time as you're speaking. The public gets to hear you later, which is kind of interesting when you think about it. But I want to talk about just FFA in general for a little bit because I think we focus a lot on your SAE with a lot of these conversations. But what has your experience been? What's been your favorite part of being about part of FFA? What's your favorite class you've taken? And those types of things. So let's start with the first one. What's your favorite part in general of FFA?
So, I never thought I would be saying this, but I would honestly say the leadership that I've been able to kind of pursue. I before FFA, I was the quiet, shy, reserved, like didn't want to talk, didn't want to do anything. But then once I joined FFA and once I became an officer and once I became president and I was able to kind of bust out of my shell, I've been able to be a leader and be like a role model. And the fact that I know that I've been a role model to students just it warms my heart. It really does. Every time I hear it, it just oh, I love it.
That's so exciting. I feel like that's something we've heard a few different times on this podcast. And for the audience listening from your car, from your class, or wherever you are, know that FFA is a place for you to experience life. It's a place for you to learn new things. It's a place for you to come out of that comfort shell, like you're talking about, Abby, and find out what you're good at. And if you fail, there's tons of people in FFA that are willing to pick you up. And I think that's the really cool part is that they're always instilling confidence in you in the smallest ways. So it's cool that you've been told you're a role model at such a young age because that's something that not many get to experience at your age.
Mhm.
What is your favorite class you've taken through FFA?
I would probably say advanced animal science. I had a really small class, which definitely helped. I got a lot of one-on-one time with my advisor to kind of focus, but I really liked how we went through every individual like animal system and we just really got to do a deep dive and I really found that super interesting, especially since I want to go into the medical field with my career. So, I just found it really interesting that I was able to kind of do that plus like animals and ag all together and I just really enjoyed it.
You mentioned medical field. Is it like you want to be a nurse, a doctor, a veterinarian? What kind of medical field? For
Yes.
people or
I
pets?
I want to be a pediatric nurse, which most people think is funny because I'm so involved in ag, but yeah.
We are so excited for what's to come, Abby, for your career ahead. Obviously, you're a great role model. For those of you listening, I think you can learn a few things from Abby that you don't have to stick to one thing for your SAE. You can continue to learn new activities and you can be a role model at a young age. It just takes a step of going outside your comfort zone. So make sure to follow us on all social platforms. Make sure to follow Paige on her Front Page Ag platforms as well, so you can stay up to the know on what's going on in agriculture. And we encourage you to come back next week when we talk to a new FFA student about what's going on in their life and career in ag.